Loyola of Maryland coach Tavaras Hardy joins the Marching to Madness College Basketball Zoomcast podcast this afternoon. The Greyhounds have won 5 in a row. They're 5-1 in the Patriot League and tied in first place with Navy right now. Coach, it's a good start for you, and you're rolling after picking up a 69-57 win over Lehigh on Saturday night. You had 26 points from Cam Spencer and 19 from Jaylin Andrews.
Yeah, no, it's been a good stretch run, or a good run to start the Patriot League season. Just for us, we have a nice balance. We have 4 guys who've played a lot, and then we have 7 guys who haven't played a lot that are getting some minutes. But they're talented, and so that combination, led by Jaylin Andrews and Cam Spencer, who's been doing it for us night in and night out all year, and then Kenny Jones and Golden DK, they're the other 2 of the foursome that's been with us. They've really been leading our team, and then our young talented guys are learning and growing, and we look for that to continue as we move forward throughout the season.
Well, Cameron missed most of last season with a hip injury. I think he played 5 games. He's come back to average 19.1 points per game. He leads the Patriot League in scoring, and I mean, he's a picture of reemergence.
Yeah, he's so important for our team. He does everything so well, and most importantly, he's a competitor. He's a winner, and we missed that last year. That team, we ended up making a nice run when he came back and getting to the championship of the Patriot League. But having him on the floor really makes our program go, and it's just been a pleasure to have him back this year. And he's been performing, and he's a main reason we're doing so well right now.
Jaylin's also a big key. He's averaging 15.1 per game, and he's 6th at the Patriot League. And I think these 2 kids, did they go to high school together?
Yep,
Right? Yeah.
Jaylin's a year older, but they were high school teammates as well from right down the street in our backyard here in Baltimore. And so, it's a special thing for those guys to be able to not only do it at the collegiate level, but do it so close to home. And, it's sort of a dynamic duo, but they got support guys too. As we all know, college basketball, not 1 or not 2 guys are going to be able to get it done. If you want to win at a championship level, which is our aspirations, we're going to need those other guys to step up, and they have been all year.
Talk about the dynamic of them having played together so long and its benefits.
Yeah, they know each other. They went through it. They learned the game a lot. They had a great high school coach, Coach Reese over at Boys Latin, who really, he instilled a lot of values in them that we don't have to worry about instilling here. They already know how to compete. They already know how to be coached. So we get a chance to put them in situations and coach them hard. And they trust each other. They pass to each other. They enjoy each other's success, and that's just a big staple for our program.
Now, you mentioned Kenny Jones. He leads in assists at 5.3 per game, and Cam has 3.7. But one thing I noticed in your stats, your team assists are about 16 for 26 made baskets per game on average. That's about 67%. I think that's a pretty good number.
Yeah, no, it's the way, we like to play the game. It's the way I was taught. I got a chance to play in college for a couple different head coaches. But the one that probably has the biggest influence on me as a player back in those days, and also me as a coach, was Bill Carmody, who coached for a long time for Coach Pete Carrill in the Princeton offense. And just ball movement, player movement. You watch the NBA today, you watch the international game. It's such a big key at that level. And we tell our guys is we want to teach you now because we know you all have aspirations to get to those levels one day. So that's what it's all about. We think it's the right way to play the game, share the ball, everybody be able to do a little bit of everything. And, it's harder to guard, harder to scout, harder to prepare for. And, our offense continues to get better as we go throughout the season.
In the Princeton offense, obviously the backdoor cut, I think, is probably the primary action. But just curious, because I'm an X and O guy as well. Do you have different actions for different matchups you might take against different teams?
Yeah, we have a unique team this year. This is the biggest team we've had since I've been
Mhm.
here at Loyola, and so it gives us the ability to adjust and play big sometimes, also play small sometimes, and that type of versatility is what the Princeton offense allows. There's a misperception, that is some slow down offense that you want to wait till the end of the clock to shoot. Like that's old school mentality. That's
Yeah.
not the way the game's being played, and we don't have to play it. What I say is this, you know, our offense can be adjusted. It can be sped up or slowed down based on who we're playing. If we feel like we're faster than the team, we're going to run a little bit more. If we feel like a team is faster than us, it makes no sense for us to get in the track meet. We're going to slow it down and jam it inside. And I just like that I have a group of guys that are capable of playing that versatile style and allow me the freedom to make decisions to coach that way.
Now, Milos Illich, right, and Golden DK bring it in the middle. Talk about your post play formulating out of those two guys, and then maybe how they set up the perimeter.
Yeah, our Milos is more of a guy that can play inside and out.
Hmm.
We let him handle the ball, we let him make decisions, we let him post up, of course, because he is 6'10".
Yeah,
And so he's capable of moving around a little bit. Golden can handle the ball on the perimeter and can pass, but he's not a shooter out there. And so most of his stuff is around the basket, but it just really helps with floor spacing and open offense to be able to have versatile bigs that can score inside and outside. And we also have two that come off the bench, and there's no drop off when you bring in Milos's brother Velko. He's more of
hmm,
more like Golden, but can step out a little bit more to shoot it. And then you bring in Alonzo Faure, who's another 6'10" kid. We're the biggest team in our league with depth up front, and it's been fun to be able to figure out how to use that appropriately.
when you came to Loyola, what are some things about the culture that wasn't there that you needed to add and maybe make changes? Because this is your fourth year, and of course, you've shown marked improvement every season.
Yeah, one thing I said when I got the job is, you know, I really wanted to be the head coach at Loyola. And so I
Hmm.
wasn't going to come in and try to make Loyola something that is not. I knew what Loyola was all about, which is, we're going to provide an incredible student athlete experience for our young men. And that student athlete experience is, yes, about basketball. So we want to be great. We want to win championships. We want to produce pros, which we've been able to do.
Hmm.
We fought for the Patriot League championship last year, and we had a first round NBA draft pick in Santi Aldama,
Sure.
which is
Yeah.
almost unheard of at this level. So those are our goals. We want to continue that, but we also want to stress academic success for our team. We want our guys being leaders on campus. We want them to have a positive impact on their communities. And so that was the main thing in driving the culture is we're going to be a leave no stone unturned program. We know that all those things they coincide with winning. And if we hold true to our core values and our promise to these young men and their parents, then it'll work out for all of us. And that's really what I just tried to do from the moment I walked through the door, is embrace the fact that Loyola is not just about basketball. Yes, we want to win, but it's so much more it has so much more to offer for our young men.
Yeah, I was curious because I know the Baltimore, D.C. area well. I mean, a terrific pro sports culture, a terrific college sports culture. How do you go about promoting your team and drawing people to Loyola to watch basketball?
Yeah, well, winning helps a lot.
Yeah,
uh, you got to win, and we feel like we were on the cusp of doing it earlier than what we're doing it. This is year 4, and again, we got a long season left, so it's not like we've made it or anything. But we were
yeah.
having a pretty good season year 2, and then we got hit with the injury bug, and then we had a lot of that talent coming back, and then COVID hit, and so it's
Mhm.
been a little bit of bad luck. But now we feel like we're starting to get our legs under us, and as we continue to win and be able to showcase just the fact that we're doing it the right way, we're doing it with the right type of guys. I know that the city of Baltimore will get behind us. And once you get Baltimore, it grows and grows from there. And that's our program's aspiration. We want to be an example. We want to be a program that people want to come watch play. They want to interact with our young men. They want to see that we're doing things the right way. And that's what we strive for.
Santi Aldama, you mentioned him already. He was drafted with the last pick of the first round by the Utah Jazz on draft night. He was dealt to the Grizzlies, and I'm curious. Talk a little bit about his game out there. I know he had a double-double. I was checking his numbers against, I forgot who they were playing, but it was the 152-79 game.
Yeah.
Back, I think everybody remembers that score, but he had 18 points and 10 rebounds that night.
Yeah, he's in the process of finding his way. Tremendous talent, and the Grizzlies wanted him. That's why they made the trade before Utah drafted him, and it was a Grizzlies pick because they wanted him. That's special because first round you're guaranteed your contract. You don't have to sweat. You don't have to worry about am I going to be signed or not. But you still have to work hard and you have to develop and you have to grow. And he's going through that phase right now. And they knew that coming in. They knew that he wasn't going to step on the floor as a rookie and be a ready-made player. But Santi's upside is tremendous. He's 7 feet. He can really shoot the ball. He can handle it on the perimeter. And it was great for us because, as we went through the recruiting process, he could have gone anywhere in the country pretty much. And he chose us. And one thing that being with him and his family on draft night that really stood out to me was just how appreciative they were that we kept our word. All the things that we let him do in our system is the reason, a big reason the NBA wanted him. He was able to showcase that. And so I'm proud of that, to be able to say that we kept our word and we brought a 7-footer in and we let him do the things that helped him prepare for the next level. And, kudos to my assistant coach, Ivo Simovic, who, he had the relationship with Santi and, does a great job with all our international guys because if it wasn't for him, Santi wouldn't have been here. And just really happy to have him on board and give us that opportunity to coach a kid like Santi, who's going to do great things in the NBA and beyond.
As you recruited him, obviously at 7 feet tall, did you see this potential upside that might lend itself to getting to the NBA that quickly?
It's funny because, as a head coach, I listen to all my assistants as they present folks that they've seen or they've interacted with that they want us to recruit. And, Coach Ivo, rightfully so, was extremely high on Santi from the very beginning. But I still wanted to see it for myself. And you can't really see it on video. And so I had the opportunity to go over to Greece for the FIBA under-18 European Championships in 2018 and watch him up close and personal. And I knew after watching him those 7 games that we had something special. And everyone knew it. He got MVP of that deal. And I'm talking, my good friend Juwan Howard was out there, all sorts of coaches. So that's Michigan. You had Stanford, you had Georgia Tech, you had all sorts of high-level coaches, and they were there recruiting guys. And, we had the MVP coming to Loyola. And so that was a big deal for us and, just really had us excited. And I was so thankful that Coach Ivo was spot on in his evaluation. It was great to be able to see it in person.
Now, as you look at the Patriot League this season, talk a little bit about the styles of play people see in there. I know it's your games are on CBS Sports Network, so the opportunity's there for people to watch these teams, but just kind of give us a capsule of what the fan can see.
Absolutely. Yeah, we play on CBS Sports and ESPN Plus with the Patriot League Network.
Cool.
But it's an incredible brand of basketball. When you talk about the pure basketball, ball movement, player movement, teamwork, well-coached groups, hard playing defense, toughness, the league offers all that. And it's been fun. It's been challenging as a first-time head coach to come in and compete. Guys like Ed DeChellis, who, I remember coaching. He was at Penn State when I was at Northwestern. Like, he's been a Big Ten head coach. Fran at Lafayette has been at Lafayette for 27 years. Brett Reed at Lehigh has been there forever. Joe Jones, one of the best coaches in the business at Boston, and so on and so forth. It's Bucknell's tradition for success in basketball. It's a lot in our league, and obviously, Colgate is red hot right now, and what they're doing there. So it's fun, but it's challenging. And I tell our guys, it's what you want. What I like about this league is there's no sort of one team. Bucknell probably has the best tradition, but there's no really one team that you can say has better things than everybody else, right? When I was at Northwestern, you can look to the Ohio States and Michigan States, and their arenas were pro style arenas, and we were we were in an 8,000 seat box in some ways. It's not like that in the Patriot League. There's a lot of parity, and so it really is about working your butt off and getting the right guys and growing your team, and everybody's going to have a chance if you do that.
Last thing, Coach. Obviously, you're a first-time guest, so this is a question for a first-time guest. I know you've had people who are an influence on you throughout your career. To get you to the point where you're a D1 head coach. I know you've been in the Big Ten, the ACC, and the Big East. Just curious if you'd share some of these people and maybe a little bit about the experience.
Yeah, all three of the head coaches that I had a chance to work for, influenced me in so many different ways. And, they had different personalities, but it started with Coach Bill Carmody giving me a chance in this business. I was 26 years old when I started out. I was the youngest assistant at the Power Five at that time, full-time assistant. And, one thing he really taught me was, don't ever let someone put you in a bubble. That kind of happens a lot in our business where, people might take a person like me and say, look, just go be a recruiter and help me get players. And Carmody wanted me to help him get players, but he wasn't going to make me just a recruiter. He taught me how to coach offensively, defensively, scouts, speaking to the team, all those things. So I got off to a great start working for a guy like that who really wanted me to grow in this business. And then moving on to work for John Thompson III, obviously Georgetown, and the history speaks for itself, and the influence of John Thompson Jr. And he was around a lot, and so got a chance to interact with him. But John Thompson III, just his professionalism, his accomplishments. I mean, he won 3 Big East championships, went to the NCAA tournament 8 times. Like, being around that level of winning, that level of swagger, understanding that you have an opportunity to get involved with any player in the country. I mean, I go through my phone sometimes and see names of, like, just these pros, these one and done guys that I had great relationships with, through the recruiting process at Georgetown. And so that was an incredible experience, going after the best and desiring to win. And then lastly, Josh Pastner at Georgia Tech. Just for him, his energy, and to be with him as he was starting off at that program. So be with him for those first 2 years when we were going through it and understanding how to kind of set the table for future success. I mean, it was critical for where I'm at right now, learning from him, and just being able to understand that you got to put the work in, you got to leave no stone unturned as you take over a job. And, I've been watching him from afar, and him being able to get to the ACC championship last year, go to the NCAA tournament. I just know where it started and where he got to, and, aspire to repeat that here at Loyola for us.
Coach Tavaras Hardy up in Baltimore, Maryland at Loyola. Coach, it's great talking to you. I enjoyed interacting, and I hope you'll come back on in the future, maybe right around March.
All right, hopefully anytime, but thank you for having me. I enjoyed this conversation.